So we're gonna get into our fundamentals of marksmanship. So basic nomenclature of the pistol, if you don't know it, this is the hammer. Some guns have them, some guns don't. Some guns are internal striker fired, like Glocks and Springfields for the most part. You have the grip. The base here is the magazine well, and there's a hole there that the magazine goes in. You can see it in that weapon right there. This weapon has an external safety here. The magazine release is here. In some weapons, it can be flipped from side to side. So if you're a lefty and you want it moved over, I can help you out with that depending on your weapon. This is your slide stop lever, which is the lever that allows me to lock the slide open when I want to so that I can easily view the chamber. The ejection port of my weapon is here. All of the spent casings come out, and in some cases, the live rounds when I clear the weapon comes out. I have the trigger here, the trigger guard. This gun has a light rail on it. That's what this stuff is down here. And then we've got the sights for the weapon. The barrel is this piece right here, and it goes underneath the slide all the way through, with this top portion being the slide right here. And then the muzzle of the gun is right here. It's that opening basically of the barrel. Right? I'm obviously not going to point the real one at you to show you the muzzle of the gun. And I suggest you don't learn the muzzle like that, right? Let's not do those things. With this weapon, when I grab the weapon, I need to establish the grip that I'm going to fire with from the holster. So what can't happen is I can't grab the gun from the holster with a bad grip, pick it up, and then fix it as I present the gun, because that takes too much time. And if I'd done it right, I could have fired immediately if needed. Right? And that could help me out in a really bad situation. So to do that, we're going to take the hand whenever we grab the gun, and we're going to jam it high into what's called the tang of the weapon with the webbing of our hand. And we're going to wrap those 3 fingers, let that finger run along the frame. It'll be on the outside of the holster, right? As I draw it, and then it'll get smacked down onto the frame. And then my thumb is either going to live on the safety if I have a safety fired weapon, or it's going to live right in that position. Right there. And then that's the grip. Notice that these fingertips aren't grabbing the gun. So if I hold this gun and squeeze, I can make the gun shake, but it's not changing position, right? I'm getting a really good grip on that. The second I use my fingertips, the gun gets pushed to my non-dominant side. So if you're missing to your non-dominant side to the left, for most of you, there's your reason. There's a major factor in why that's happening. So now that I've established my firing grip, I need to establish the support hand. This firing grip is squeezing only with energy this way and energy this way. Those bones pushing back, or those knuckles, depending on how big the grip is in my hand, is pushing back. And so I have force going this way, force going this way. I squeeze with my fingertips, and the fingertips squeeze this way. So it changes to force this way and force this way, which is a torquing force, which is what makes it move. Right? Easy ways to think that up is if I wanted to pick this magazine up, I would pick it up with equal and opposite forces, right? I would pick it up from the sides here. I wouldn't try to pick this magazine up like that. Wouldn't work, right? So that's what we want to look at for what we're doing. That's why we're on that. So now I have this grip established. We want to talk about how it should fit in my hand. In order to know if the gun is the right size for my hand or not, what I have to figure out is, if presented in this manner with the proper grip, is the slide in line with the bones in my arm. If my hand were a little bit too small or too big, see how the slide comes out of alignment with the bones in my arm. That would mean the gun's not the right size for me, right? So I want to know that this is fitting. This check right here on a pistol is one of the best you can do before even deciding to fire a pistol. Because if the grip is just too big or too small for your hand, except in some cases, you might not want to deal with it, right? It's going to be a little harder for you to fire and manipulate that gun, and it means you're going to have to break your grip to manipulate the gun, and we'll talk about that as we get on. So now we build the support hand into the mix. So my support hand, I'm a natural pointer. When I pick up a rifle and I grip this rifle by sliding into the gun and keeping my thumb pointed straight ahead. This hand resting just like it does on a pistol grip, so that when I present and point the rifle, I'm pointing and presenting this way, right? My thumb is basically pointed at the target, and so is my trigger finger at this point. We don't change things when we move platforms. This was my hand grip. That's my hand grip for the pistol. Not that though, right? That wouldn't work. Instead, I'm gonna mesh it in here and fill up all of this space that I can get my hands in. on this. My thumb and firing finger should be about even on the frame. That tells me I'm good. This thumb must rotate forward. If you let the thumb sit back, my wrists just lined up. Do you see that? If my wrists are lined up and the gun wants to recoil, it's gonna do that. If my wrists aren't lined up, they don't bend that way, right? That's why hinges on a door in a straight line, not staggered on the door. They wouldn't work great if they were staggered. Same concept here. So now, I said before that I want to squeeze with these knuckles or these bones here, and I want to squeeze with the back of the hand here. We talked about sympathetic reflex for those of you who were here yesterday, and sympathetic reflex is that one hand is doing the other hand wants to do, right? So you've experienced that trying to fix the car or trying to plug the washer in or something, and you're reaching in trying to get it, and then this hand is flashing a bunch of gang signs, right? It's not doing anything, but it's doing weird stuff because I'm trying to do something over here. Sympathetic reflex, they want to do what they want to do here. I'm going to teach this hand to do the same thing. If this hand is squeezing here and here, this hand is going to do the same thing. When I put it on the gun, it can't grip the gun like this because see how much area I don't have taken up on the grip now? I'm not able to hold on to the weapon as well. So I want it back here. By filling this space up, it means that as I grip this gun, this hand is going to put pressure this way. So this part of my hand needs to put pressure in the opposite direction, not with my fingertips, because then I'm in the same boat where I want to twist the gun to one side. So from here, I'm lined up and I have the grip that I want on the gun. This is exactly what I'm looking for in the gun.